Hi, this is Stan. Welcome back to the Crow's Nest Railroad. Well, got some electrical work today. Hope you can stay tuned. Well, welcome back to the Crow's Nest Railroad. We're actually on the road today. We're in the steaming bay here at the Adobe Western Railroad, and I pulled my locomotive out of the container, and I have to pull this top off and expose the batteries and the internal electronics. I'm going to do some checking and see if I can get this voltmeter up and running. So that should be today's fun. So these fake pistons have to come off, the left and the right, and then after that, just 4 bolts holds this whole body assembly down to the chassis. 1 here, 1 there, and 2 back in the cab. Okay, there's the body, or part of it. The rest of the removable pieces are back in the container. And here's the chassis. These are 2 12-volt batteries, single motor, Siren 50, horn, some relays, and these are the pigtails that we're going to be checking today. When I originally built this locomotive, I kind of went overboard. I had a little too many bundles of wire in here because I was separately charging. I had a 12-volt charger on the rear and the front, and I've since changed over to 1 single charging lead for 24 volts. And so I pulled a couple of pigtails out of there. It's just got too confusing. This is 12 volts off the rear battery here. This is our control plug, and this is our 24 volts that I can use for charging. But I'd also like to be able to, when this is not plugged into the charger, plug this into a small voltmeter so I can keep track of the voltage, the state of the batteries when I'm running the locomotive. Really don't want it to get below 22 volts or 11 volts per battery. So I got the unnecessary wiring out of here. I want to do a couple of zip ties. I want to do some labels, and I want to get that voltmeter rigged up to read off this particular cable instead of a dedicated cable. Too much can go wrong when you have all these cables hanging out. Well, I pulled this little meter off. I just don't have enough to work with these little wires. They're just too small and too close to be hooked up to where I need, so this is going to have to go back in the shop. So for today, got all these bundles patched up. Everything looks tight and well labeled in here. I think I can go ahead and put the body back on, and I want to put the charger on it and make sure that it's behaving well on the charger before I leave it. So maybe I'll go to lunch and come back after the charger's been on it and double check the voltages then. So I got the voltmeter. Let's check the rear battery. 12.33. The front battery is 12.36. And across both, 24.7. All right, got the charger on there. I'll let that run, take a break for lunch, and come back. And hopefully it'll be working and nothing will have burned down. Okay, time lapse. We're back at it. It's been on the charger for a while. Let's check the batteries again. 12.73 on the rear. 12.74 on the front. That's pretty even. 25.48 for the pair. All right, let's get everything put back together. Well, it's a little windy and hot, but since I got to put back together again, let's take it out in the yard and just run it a little bit so we get some footage of a train running for this week. Well, this is Stan saying thanks so much for joining us this week on the Crow's Nest Railroad. That's going to wrap it up. I'm going to put the number 3 back in the container and head on home. Hope to see you right here next time.